Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Lady Yo and welcome to So Serious Gaming, and today I want to give you guys something that's not a classified 6-piece, something that's not a meta build. I want to give you guys something different, something that's still extremely viable and is fantastic in a team, honestly. Now, I won't take credit for this. Huge shout out to Cyrex for giving me the idea for this one. Any of you who have watched my live streams, things like that, you know Cyrex, one of the guys that I play with quite regularly, so massive shout out to him for this idea. So basically we're running the Ninja Bike with 3 Firecrest and 2 Banshee. Those of you that aren't aware, the Ninja Bike basically unlocks an extra talent on these. So if I'm running 3-piece Firecrest, the Ninja Bike unlocks the 4-piece, and if I'm running 2-piece Banshee, the Ninja Bike unlocks 3-piece. So with Banshee on the 3-piece, you get damage to targets out of cover. We don't care about the 2-piece, it's just extra DZ funds, and honestly is useless. It should be changed in my opinion, but hey, it is what it is. But the plus 10% damage to targets out of cover, most PvP encounters are out of cover, so that is pretty much always active. And then with the Firecrest, obviously you get the incendiary grenade capacity increase, the flame turret range, the flame turret damage. But what matters the most is the 4-piece, your weapon damage is increased by 15% against burning targets. So the idea to using this build is to basically have your turret down. It's got range, it's got 18 meter range. The cap on the range is 18.6 meters. So, you know, it's got the range there. And all you want from it is literally just to set targets on fire. You don't need the extra skill power. I've got that little bit extra there just for simply giving my turret a little bit of health. So, now I am running the house for the most part. It's deadly unforgiving. But you don't need the house. You can run the AUG. I've got an AUG here with deadly unforgiving responsive on there. It's perfectly fine. MP5s, MP7s still do work, and of course you can use an Elvoa or an M4 as well if you wanted to instead. The attachments that I have on my house, I have crit damage, crit chance, headshot damage on the muzzle, crit damage, accuracy, reload speed on the underbarrel, mag size, crit chance, rate of fire for the mag, and crit damage, headshot damage, crit chance on the sight. Then of course I have the MDR with responsive, unforgiving, and distracted. Your damage is increased by 18% against targets with status effects. So when I'm setting them on fire, they're under a status effect, and that's just more damage for me. Then on the suppressor we have crit damage, crit chance, headshot damage, accuracy, crit damage, stability. I do kind of want to change this out, but I don't really have anything else at the moment, so that's the only reason that's there. Mag size, crit chance, crit damage, and then crit chance, crit damage, and headshot damage. So, onto the chest piece. I got really lucky with this roll. It was really high stamina roll, it was a good firearms roll. So I just rolled health and skill haste on there. You could change the skill haste out for exotic damage resilience if you wanted. I've just got it there just to get the cooldown on my turret that little bit quicker and try and shorten the gap from my turret dying to my turret coming back, and leave myself basically being able to put the turret down as regularly as possible. So we've got health, skill, haste and ammo capacity. And then the mods I'm running are both stamina with crit chance. The mask is Firecrest rolled with stamina and skill power. You can go crit chance on there if you want to. I put skill power on there just for a little bit of extra health on my turret, and of course it helps slightly with the cooldowns as well. And then we got stamina and a skill haste mod there. Again, skill haste mods aren't necessarily needed if you don't mind having that length of time where you don't have your turret down. That's fine, go with crit chance for the extra damage output. I just want to try and shorten that time as much as possible where my turret's not available, to make sure that I can put it down either straight away when my turret finishes or as soon as possible afterwards. So that's why I've got some skill haste mods on. Then the knee pads, again, a Firecrest rolled with stamina and skill power. Again, you could roll the skill power out for crit damage if you wanted. It's perfectly fine if you want just to have the extra damage and you don't care about your turret health. I've just put that extra bit of turret health on just to make it last that bit longer if they decide to start shooting it. And then we got a stamina with crit chance on the mod and a turret damage mod. Again, you can change the turret damage mods if you want to. You can go with turret health. You could even go with turret duration, which is actually where I'm going to be headed once I get the mods for it, which will mean the turret will last longer to match the cooldown time better. So it will bring that gap where there's no turret available down. And it might even give me the opportunity to remove the skill haste mod and go with crit chance anyway. So yeah, you can leave it as turret damage, you can go turret health, you can go turret duration, any of those, but just make sure that you're putting mods on for your turret. Then I have crit chance on the holster, and the mod on that one is turret damage. The Banshee gloves are stamina, they rolled with SMG damage, crit damage and crit chance. Because I'm mostly using my SMG, I'm a bit of an SMG freak, as most people who watch my channel know. But again, you can switch that out for assault rifle damage if you wanted. You could even go with the shotgun if you wanted, and use the showstopper and go shotgun damage on there. That's up to you. And the ninja bike is rolled with firearms. I haven't optimized this at all, so the firearms roll is real low. And then we got crit damage and ammo capacity, and then we got a stamina mod with crit chance and 2 turret damage mods. So I have 45.5% crit chance and 122% crit damage, so it is a little bit lower than what I tend to use on most of my builds, but again, it's a small sacrifice to make my turret more viable, which will help my team out more, so I'm not too bothered about that. And we have 12% skill haste. Again, it's only a little bit, but it's just there to literally help me get my cooldown on my turret. And health is 360,000. So yeah, I've not had much chance to test this. Like I say, this is more of a team build, but the couple of times I have been able to test it, I've had so much fun with it, and it's done work too. So as you can see, the cooldown is 54 seconds and the lifetime is 45 seconds, which is why I was trying to get that balance where that I don't have to deal with that 9 seconds, hopefully. So fingers crossed, if I get the turret duration mods instead of the turret damage mods, it will then bring that 45 seconds up to being more like 50 something. And that way then, whenever my turret actually ends, my turret will have already cooled down so I can throw it down again. It's got 126,698 health, so it's not super strong, but that extra little bit of health will either deter them from trying to focus it because they're getting focused in the process. And like I say, 18 meter range. If I switch this over to a pure skill power build and just run Firecrest 6-piece with all skill power mods and everything, the cap on the range is 18.6 meters. That is the most I've had it, even with like 400k skill power, is 18.6 meters. So 18 meters, you're almost at the maximum range. And I run an immunizer with this. Obviously for myself to counter pred bleed, but also give my teammates some counters for shock turrets and things like that, and heals if I need it or if my team need it and things like that. Then the talents I run are critical save, of course, and then combat medic, and we have wildfire. Applying burn to any target triggers a 30% chance per each target in a 10 meter radius. So what this means is, say there's 4 players around the one that you set on fire, each one of them has a 30% chance to catch fire as well, which means that they're all, the crowd control is pushing them back, it's stopping them shooting, it's making their players ineffective, and it's of course giving me extra damage to them because of the 4-piece. And then we have on the move. If you wanted, you could change out on the move and go with triage or strike back, or even battle buddy. Revive a downed agent to reduce incoming damage by 30% for 10 seconds for both players, which is kind of handy. When you pop a green and your teammate comes up, they tend to get focused immediately. So if you have battle buddy on, that gives them a chance to actually, stand up and not instantly go back to the floor again. So again, the talents are somewhat up to you, but I would definitely recommend running critical save and combat medic in a team, and then wildfire, because you want that turret to be setting fire to as much as possible, and that'll make that happen. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the build, guys. I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of a manhunt gameplay that I got with Marker Blades and a couple of other guys, and it was a lot of fun. We actually came up against a team, and there was a couple of other random players in there from time to time, but this other team ended up being subscribers of Marker Blades, and all four of them were running Nomad, and we were going insane, and we were struggling because like they were getting endless Nomad procs, and I ended up switching to this build in the end. I was like, you know what, let me put this build on, we'll position ourselves, and we'll just use the fire turret to our advantage, and it worked. When they pushed, they got destroyed, and it made them scared to push. As you'll see in the gameplay, like every time they pushed, it put them on fire. It was a nuisance to them. It gave me extra damage. They'd get melted, and you could see that they started getting nervous about pushing. They didn't really know how to approach the situation. Even when they EMP'd the turret, the EMP didn't knock the turret out long enough for them to actually get anything done. So overall, it worked really, really well, and I think to me it was like the perfect example for this build, because nothing else we were trying was working against them, and this ended up doing it. So yeah, again, man, I just love this build. It's great for team play. I've tried it solo and it doesn't work out that well. I mean, you can still use it solo if you wanted to, but personally, I'd stick to Nomad or Striker if you're going solo. Get much more survivability with both of those builds, and yeah, you're still going to be able to hit pretty hard with either one of them, depending on how you built it as well. So for solo play, stick to those builds, but in a team, this is definitely viable. It's going to give your team good crowd control. It's going to allow you to deal more damage, and overall, man, you're just hitting hard. I mean, you know, we've got 18.6k damage, but you have to take into account the 10% extra damage from Banshee isn't added, and 10% damage from Banshee is multiplicative as well. And then you also take into account when they're on fire, you've also got that additional 15% off of the Fire Crest, so you're getting 25% extra damage on a player. So it hits hard, and you'll see that in the footage. And again, 534k toughness. You're pretty tanky, you can get away with face trading most people, so for me it's the perfect balance. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Comment below, let me know what you think of the build. Have you been running something similar? Have you thought about it but just figured it wouldn't stack up against some of the top builds, or what? Just let me know what you think, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.